Hi guys, Wendy Kennedy here. For the last 17 years I've been working with beings in other realms and dimensions, and one of the questions I get asked most often is, how do I learn to connect better with my own guides? And the process is slightly different for each person. You may be clairvoyant, you may be clairaudient, you may be clairsentient. You're hardwired one of those three ways to interpret frequency through your body. If you're clairvoyant, you're going to see it, and that can mean literally outside of yourself. Just as you see me or another person, or you may see it with your inner eye. If you're clairaudient, you may hear it. You may hear it just as you're hearing my own voice, or you may hear it like the voice in your head when you read, and it has a slightly different quality to it. Or you may experience it as a physical sensation through your body, which is clairsentience. And you aren't limited to interpreting that frequency in one of those ways, but generally one is easier than the other. And as you become more accustomed to interpreting the frequency, you learn to do so through the other senses as well. Our intention to connect with our guides gets us about 85% of the way there. The other 15% comes by getting out of the mind and getting into the heart center. The mind was set up to allow us the illusion of separation, to see ourselves as separate from source and separate from everything else around us. Once we connect with the heart center, we can see our connection to our guides, our higher selves, to source energy, and to everything around us. The heart doesn't have the filters that the ego has. So in order to connect with your guides, you have to move out of the mind and into the heart. Well, how do you do that? So how do you get out of the mind and into the heart center? The guide suggests simply thinking of something that makes you smile. It's as easy as that. It doesn't require hours of meditation. Meditation is going to serve you in a different way. But simply thinking of something that makes you smile gets you out of the mind. And that is paramount to channeling. If you found the right image, what you feel is lighthearted, warm, tingly, uplifted, any of those things. And the more you work with this, the easier it's going to be for you to get back to this space, and the faster you're going to be able to do it, and the longer you're going to be able to hold it. When you first start, it may feel challenging, especially if you're having a day where you're feeling depressed or angry or upset or really fearful. It may be a step process to get you up. And it may feel really challenging to hear what your guides are saying. It's really important that you're very clear about the questions that you have for your guides. If you ask really general questions like, tell me what I need to know, typically the guides will give you really general answers. And this happens because you have free will and they don't want to interfere with that. If you're specific and you tell them that you want to know about a specific topic, they can give you a lot more information. So be really clear with your questions. There's a fine art to asking questions. And what you'll find is that when you're seeking higher information, you've got to start asking the right questions in order to get the answer. Trust what you get. This is probably one of the hardest things for us to do. We can get heart-centered, we can be specific about our questions, but we don't always trust what we get. When you first begin, it is going to feel like your imagination. But the more you work with it, the more you're going to notice the subtle differences in the frequencies. Like anything, the more you practice, the better you get. Have fun channeling, and I would highly recommend that you make this a group effort. So if you've got a couple friends who are interested, 2, 3, 4 friends, it's much easier for you to connect to the higher realms and maintain the frequency that way, because the intent of the group, of the collective, is much stronger than the intent of the individual. As you try to maintain a frequency and you drop out, it's much easier to come back up when the rest of the group is holding the energy. And I'll tell you, after 17 years, it is still much easier for me to channel for groups and with groups than it is sometimes for me to sit down and channel my own stuff. So have fun with it all. You know, these are your friends on the other side, and you are already channeling every single day. Each and every one of us does it. We're just shifting it from a subconscious to a conscious activity. So it's not a new skill. It's not something that you have to learn all over again. It's just really turning up the volume. I hope you found this helpful, and happy channeling.